For what reason?
She said out loud, "I kill you because I can." And then she said, well, I ran away at once, and I never breathed a word of this. But deep in my heart, I always suspected that she was capable of something far worse than the petty crimes and blackmails and drug deals and export-import businesses of a shady character that she used to put herself through university. I always thought she might be capable of murder.
Christopher, there was a case that I covered years back about the death of your friend Jeffrey's parents, who I understand were very well off and in fact would cater to you and your sister.
Yes, his adoptive parents.
His adoptive parents, yes. What were their names, if I might ask for my records?
Fred and Ethel.
Fred
and Ethel.
And Ethel. Very well, okay. What was Gertrude's relationship with Fred and Ethel?
Why, they were in fact quite kind to her in a way that her own mother never was.
How did that make you feel?
All right. All right. You seem to have pierced into my breast, Inspector, so I'll come out with it. I was always envious of Gertrude. Yes, it may be true that my mother favored me, but everybody else favored Gertrude. Gertrude, of course, was too busy swimming in her own mania to realize it. But even the tennis coach favored Gertrude. She was always bigger than me, always stronger than me, always ruling me with her. Always ruling me with that despotic, evil nature of hers. And all I wanted was for her to love me. Why? Why didn't she love me, Inspector?
Why didn't she love me? Can you guess, my dears, why his sister might not love him?
He was a huge Bruce Springsteen fan.
My dear, that predates 1957. Webbed toes. He has webbed toes, and she's disgusted by them. Okay.
But she didn't love me. And do you know why?
Well, I have a guess, considering that Jeffrey was on the rowing team and you were on the swimming team.
Yes! Yes, I was born with webbed toes! Every day, I would go to her and say, "Please, please, I don't know why Mama doesn't love you as she loves me, but I love you." And she would simply look at me and call me Webby.
It's not even clever.
I know!
Well, after all you've told me, Christopher, I think that your sister might be behind this.
No, she can't. I promise you, Inspector, that deep down beneath that hard crust of criminal patina, there's a good heart, I promise you. Please.
Oh, Catherine. Oh, thank you so much for coming to my parlor. Please, sit down, sit down. Oh, Catherine, as you are my only friend here in St. Mary Mead.
And a new friend, too.
Something
Not that long we've been friends.
It's true. I'm so lucky you came into my life. Now, I have something to tell you, Catherine. It's a little troubling. So, I haven't been able to take my medicine. And when I don't take my medicine, well, I just feel a little, out of sorts. And part of the side effects of me not having my medicine is I tend to have these blackouts, and I just can't remember things. And whole days will pass, and oh God, Catherine, I'm so terrified I did something terrible.
it's most likely you did, darling.
You think so?
I really think that you should search your conscience for why you might have murdered these people.
What? What are you saying? Catherine, no, I'm not a murderer. I mean, deep
My
down.
darling, look at you. You're out of sorts.
No.
You're completely beyond control of your senses.
Well, it's
You
Webby!
told me-
My brother Webby, he put me up to this. That stupid webbed foot, mother-loving boy. Oh, yes. I mean, that man is just, it's his fault. Catherine, you've got to help me. You've got to help me. I've got to get out of town.
Darling, I think you should go and talk to Miss Marple.
No, I did, and that was a bad idea. Miss Marple, she thinks I'm just a murderer now, and I don't think I'm a murderer, but I need help.
How would you know, my darling? How would you know? You're saying that you have these crazy fits. You're saying you have no medication.
Yes.
My darling, I think perhaps you should confess.
Am I a murderer?
Catherine, with her very cool cover, is covering some kind of motivation. Why would she be so cold? Why would she be so encouraging of a friend to admit to murder when a friend does not even remember? Can you guess? Why would Catherine do that? Oh, we don't know that yet, my friends.
She's a cat lover.
She's a cat lover.
I mean, my darling, I can barely speak of the fact that you used to strangle cats. Do you remember when you would take the tennis catgut and strangle them? My darling, you've been a murderer since day one!
That was years ago. I'm not that person anymore. I'm not. I've taken medication. I've gone to therapy. I am before my time to go to therapy. And I've done everything, Catherine. You have to help me. I am desperate.
I'm afraid I can't, darling.
No, please.
I can't help a murderer. That would be against the law. I would be an accessory after the fact.
Just a bit of money. I just need to catch a train. I won't use one to see me ever again. No one will see me. Oh, please. Catherine, I know deep down I didn't do this. I didn't do this. I didn't.
Darling, you're quite beside yourself. I think I should let you be alone.
Detective Inspector General.
Detective inspectors, just fine.
I fear I must tell you something before I resign.
Resign?
I am too close to this, you see. Lucy was my sister. The pretty one.
That can't be. You two don't look anything alike.
That's just the point. She's always been the pretty one in the family, the smart one. She had the big boobs. I got this. I fear I may be a suspect, you see, which I cannot do my job anymore. I fear because everybody to me is a suspect right now. I think it was her husband. I think it was Spectre.
Kills me.
Sorry, what are you doing here? Do you have the news I have? I needed to tell you the report on the first murder of the week came, and there had been a burglary at Dr. Brown's office.
A burglary?
A burglary.
A burglary?
Yes, his pharmaceuticals, all stolen.
Dear. Including the crazy pills?
Yes, most definitely the crazy pills. Anyway, sorry to interrupt you. Hope you feel better. Oh, it's better.
That woman. I can't believe she lost her arm in that terrible sawing accident. The seesaw went up, and then it went down, and her arm... Listen, Buttlesworth. Your sister was murdered, yes.
Yes.
And you are a police officer well on your way to one day having my role as detective inspector.
I am just too close. I think that Elizabeth did it. I think Timothy did it. I think the dead doctor did it. I might have done it. I don't know.
Don't be saying these things. Listen, there's only so many people in this town and only 3 of us on the force working this case. I simply cannot have you resign. And I'll tell you why.
Why? Give me one good reason why I should stay.
Because your sister was a beautiful, smart, intelligent woman, and her murderer deserves to be caught, and you are the one to do it.
I shall do it then.
You shall, so take this back. I reject your resignation.
Let us find the killer of my beautiful sister. I shall stay on then.
Thank you for coming.
Geoffrey?
Pour you some tea.
Oh, please do. I'm quite parched. Geoffrey, I came as soon as you asked.
Yes, well, our whole town seems to be going to hell with all these murders happening. 3.
Yes, of course.
I do not know what is happening here.
It's hell.
I feel that karma has a way of finding justice, does it not?
Yes, I've heard of this thing, karma, from the Indian tradition. It's quite blasphemous and unchristian, but they have something. They're right in one way. Whatever you do, action you make, it binds you. And so if you have done illegal things, if you have done immoral things, if you have broken any vows, of course this will one day come back and hurt you.
Yes. Jane, I have something I must tell you. I fear that my parents' death, well, I killed them. You see, I was 16 years old. It was my birthday. A beautiful day, actually. My parents set up a wonderful party for me. All my friends were there, and my family, and their friends. It was a great extravaganza because I was turning 16. And everything went smoothly, and after everyone had left, my parents called me into their study. And it was then, when they had told me that I had been adopted. They said, "You are old enough now to know the truth, but that does not mean we do not love you any less." But of course, you can imagine, at such a young age, I was taken aback by this. Why tell me now? Why not wait until I was older? Why on the day of my birthday, after such a lovely day? So I stormed out of their room. I was beside myself with anger, and they went off to bed. And I came back into the living room. I grabbed the statue on the mantelpiece and I threw it into the fireplace. And apparently, some of the embers have fallen out because of my action. Then I stormed out of the house that night, never wanted to come back. And next, of course, I hid in town and would walk around until almost daylight. And I decided to go back home, and that's when I found that the house had burned down with them inside.
Oh, Geoffrey.
It was my fault.
Oh, Geoffrey, this is horrid. I remember that fire. Oh, but it was an accident, Geoffrey.
Yeah, but karma has come around to this town, and it is because of my ill doing.
Geoffrey, you are being hurt, but it is only if you believe you were hurting others, well then that would be karma. Would it not? Have you hurt others?
No, of course not.
Willingly, knowingly, no.
I have a son, Jeremy.
Oh, dear Geoffrey.
I abandoned him. Now it's all out. Now perhaps I've cleared myself of any...
My dear, I
Suspicion.
don't believe that's how karma works. Karma comes back and hurts the person who has inflicted harm, not the whole town.
Jane, I need to speak to you at once.
Oh, yes. Jeffrey, I am so sorry to hear this. Your heart must be breaking, but I leave you. This was not your fault.
Very well.
I have something that I have to tell you. The beef Wellington killer was found today in the Bahamas, enjoying his life. He was not the one behind this,
Well, of course not, dear. Of course not.
but I think I found our culprit, and I have no doubt about it. It is Gertrude.
Oh. You suspect Gertrude?
I don't just suspect, I know it to be her. She is a pathological murderer. She's been murdering since her childhood days, killing innocent animals. She's, by all the evidence collected by my officer, she's gone off the rails. She's psychotic. I think she's the one behind all of this.
Well, my dear, if you believe she's the one, I think we should go to her. I believe she's with her brother. We should go speak to the two of them right now.
Yes, they are at that fish pie competition in the audience.
Okay, let's go find them.
Gertrude, I can't believe in the midst of all of this you're still insistent upon refereeing this contest.
I am committed to my job.
Gertrude, listen to me. I know that you broke into the doctor's office and stole those drugs.
Me? No. Yes, I did. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do.
Listen to me.
Yes.
You know how you've been suffering from blackouts. You know how you can barely remember one day from the other.
Yes, yes.
Gertrude, you are the murderer.
Yes, that's right, Jane. There, we have it.
No, I'm not capable. Those days are behind me.
Oh, she hears voices in her head, does she not?
Look, she's guilty. She's already in black and white, just like a prisoner should be.
I'm just a referee. I'm just a referee.
It's all right, Gertrude. It's all right. We must let justice take its course, mustn't we, Miss Marple?
Of course, Christopher, we must let justice take its course. And of course, Detective Inspector, you will arrest him, will you not?
But arrest me? Whatever are you talking
For
about?
what purpose?
Well, he was behind the murders. Unfortunately, my dear, I do believe you were the one murdering, but you were being manipulated by your brother.
What?
All right, well, it appears the gig is up. Yes, that's right. Yes, that's right. I've been pulling the strings, just the way you pulled the strings around that cat. Just the way you pulled the strings around my life. Well, I shall be Webby no more! That's right!
Always be Webby, just rotting away in prison!
Oh, how sweet it was to watch it all come together. First, the very first murder I committed was Lucy. Sweet Lucy, who was dominating all the time with Elizabeth. How was I supposed to make my romantic advances if Lucy was constantly talking to her? So, out of my way. But then it turned out that sweet Elizabeth, my love, was having an affair with the doctor.
My fish pie!
Yes, the doctor! And so, he too had to go, and I killed him. But then, finally, I realized that all of this was causing me to hurt my own dear friendship, and I was losing my humanity, losing myself and becoming a hideous, warped, evil creature like you. And so, in order to reclaim my humanity, I had to kill the person who brought me to this state, Elizabeth! Oh, that was good.
You see, Detective Inspector, I always suspected him. He reminded me of the butcher's boy. The butcher's boy, yes. He had a bit of a sadistic streak, that one. He had a glimmer in his eye, and every time he would come into the fish pie office, he would manipulate the vendor to give him what he wanted for free.
How sweet it was, manipulating you and pulling the strings on you like a puppet as one by one you did my ghastly bidding.
Watch your back in jail, Webby!
Miss Marple, here's some of the pills he had on him. You said to keep an eye out for him.
Yes.
For you know,
Yes.
his poor sister.
He was depriving you of your medication so that you could be crazy and black out and not remember that you were committing murder.
Oh, how could I have ever accused you, Gertrude?
It's okay.
I'm very sorry, Jane, but Gertrude will have to go as well.
I understand.
Bumblesworth!
No.
Tiddlesby!
No, please, please don't make me. No.
I'm sorry. You'll have to take her away too.
I just need psychiatric help. I don't need to be locked up. This is our system. This is our system.
I've got the door on the outside.
Catherine, I'm sorry, but would you give me some time alone with Jane?
But of course, poor Gertrude.
That was horrible to do that in front of this entire audience. Here for a simple fish pie eating competition.
Detective Inspector, you did a great job.
Jane, I couldn't have done it without you. I was off my rock at first. I thought it was a man who was in the Caribbean, and next well, I was somewhat right, but I didn't even put the connection together that web-foot scoundrel was behind us all.
Oh, don't worry your head over this. You are a wonderful investigator. One day, you will get it all on your own.
Indeed I will, but until then, I will call upon you, Miss Jane Marple, because your intelligence knows no equal.
Thank you. And so, my friends, Geoffrey and Timothy had their final bid and adieu together as well.
Please.
Geoffrey, my old Oxford chum. I can't believe it was that foul cur Christopher all along.
Neither can I.
Do you remember him from our Oxford days? Do you remember when you and I tried to form the Absinthe Club and he misheard over the sound of his flopping feet and thought we were trying to form the Abstinent Club?
I never had the luck to tell it. It was actually quite amusing. Where
It was.
You and I would go about and have our ways, and he would just be in his room crying all night.
Yes. What a fool.
Well, it's interesting.